Is it working? We'll find out soon enough. Welcome, everybody. In the meantime, I see the live chats rolling. It looks like we're live on Zoom. I just need to make sure to see if we've got the right link. Oh, it's working. Yes. Woo! All right, what's up? Welcome to Street Apologists Live. This is Vocab Malone. This is a show where we look into the overlooked and served the underserved. Today, we're definitely going to be looking into the overlooked. Got these young guys who are not just the future, but they're doing the stuff now in apologetics. So everybody knows that imitation is the sincerest and highest form of compliment, right? You know what I'm saying? So we did the Apologetics Empire. Now we've got the Apologetics Empire. I'm just messing with them, but also I think it's a pretty dope idea, in all honesty. And so what we're going to see today is you're going to see what are the next generation, the now generation of apologists doing. I'm going to introduce them to y'all. And so you definitely want to see this because this is fresh, new, ain't seen this nowhere else. You're going to meet some new faces. And I'm very excited about tonight's show. Please hit that like button. Please grab this link and share it. Now we're on Zoom tonight. So a lot of the bells and whistles I usually pull out for a live stream, I will not have tonight. All I'm going to have is my little echo. Welcome to Street Apologist. That's all I'm going to have tonight, guys. I'm not going to have all the other bells and whistles because of the way the setup is. It's a long story. You don't need to hear about it. But you do need to meet everybody you're going to be meeting. Nate, am I on the webcam mic? Amy is asking how old I am. A gentleman never tells. No, Nate, I'm on the right mic, but two things. I switched its position, and Zoom doesn't look as good. And so it looks a little bit, I don't think it looks as good. You tell me what you think. How does it look compared to normal, bro? What's your opinion? Let me know what you think. No echo. You're saying you guys didn't hear that echo? Oh man. No, anyways. All right, let's get the show on the road. I'm bringing up the panel. Now I'm putting on the Brady Bunch view, and you can see everybody all together, and we are in effect. And so I'm going to kind of go around the horn. Stellman Smith Jr., you were the first one in the room, and you're first at the bat. Make sure everybody unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, everybody there. And my man Stellman, please introduce yourself to the audience, my man.
Yeah, I'm Stellman Smith Jr. I started my YouTube channel, I think almost 2 years ago, maybe just a little bit more. Me and a buddy of mine were talking, and we wanted to start something. I was the apologetics guy, and he was the political guy, and so it was the unapologetic apologist was supposed to be kind of a combination of apologetics and kind of cultural commentary. But he ended up doing a lot of behind the scenes work, so it ended up being more focused on apologetics. And for the first year, it didn't really grow or do anything. But then I happened to meet Frank Turk in person. I invited him on the show. And since then, I've been in touch with a bunch of different guys, Greg Kogel, Jay Werner Wallace, inviting them on the show and interviewing them. And recently I started doing response videos. I just released one responding to Ben Shapiro's claims about the Jewish Messiah. And then I did another one a week later, kind of just splicing clips of Ben Shapiro and Nabil Qureshi, where Nabil's kind of, it seemed like he was responding to those claims. I'm working on one now, responding to rationality rules, supposedly debunking Craig's moral argument. Terribly unsophisticated. And that's kind of what I like to do is try to just be sophisticated in thinking. Like I'm a lay person, right? I don't have a fancy degree or anything. But so if I can be slightly sophisticated in some of these ideas, like the atheists too, like Michael Shermer has no excuse to be bringing up the youth for dilemma, with a doctorate. So I just try to be a little bit more sophisticated in these ideas because that's why I see it come from the atheists a lot. It's just a severely unsophisticated understanding of these things. So that's kind of what I try to do.
Right on, man. So it's good to hear about your channel and what you do. I have your link to your channel in the description box of this video so people can see it there. But if you want, also, you should be able to, if you're in the live chat, feel free to drop it in there as well. Because what I encourage everybody to do is to subscribe to everybody that's on tonight. If you don't like their stuff, then just unhit the bell. We just stay subscribed and just don't get notifications until they get better. But thanks, Mike. Nate, I actually fixed my mic. I saw what you're talking about. My mic should sound better, Nate. How about now? I think it's fixed on that. But all right, next up we got my man Invoking Theism, and I met you two kind of before the show. We got to talk a little bit, and you You're on the West Coast as well. Tim Howard, how you doing, man? Tell people a little bit about your channel, please.
Sweet. Thanks, man. No, I'm doing really good. Can't complain. So yeah, I'm Tim. And my channel is Invoking Theism. To put it simply, basically my channel is dedicated to all things metaphysics and ontology, regards to God's existence and things of that sort. So you'll see videos and things along those lines, and those will be the topics covered. I'm interested in also things like biological evolution as well, using that as an argument for God at the same time. Current video I'm working on it right now, I'm in the editing process, is a video that will be called Establishing Necessary Existence, because I think that, well, my favorite cosmological argument is the contingency argument. And so I approach those lines, and I'm gonna kind of do a little series of establishing necessary existence and then bridging the gap between the necessary part of reality and God, and then what this ultimate nature of reality is. Invoking work of like Josh Rasmussen and Alexander Proust on the foundation theory at the same time. So that's what I'll be having soon. But I don't really, I don't upload too often, but when I do, it's about something I care about. So I just don't push out videos just to push out videos, but it'll be something that I've been thinking about. And if you want to kind of see where I dump all my thoughts throughout the week, you can follow me on Twitter, which is also under Invoking Theism.
All right, right on, man. Well, it's good to meet you, Tim. It's good to hear about what you're doing. Let's go next. We're gonna kind of go as people's faces are on the screen in the room. David Paulman, we talked a little bit before as well. Before the show is kind of good to get to know you. And your channel is called Faith Because of Reason. What do you do over there besides badger Calvinists? Guys, I'm just teasing them, by the way, but not really. But go ahead, David. Tell about what you do, man.
Yeah, I primarily do videos that are apologetic and more recently theological. It kind of just falls with whatever I'm studying at the time. So I did a series on the Kalam cosmological argument. I did a kind of a lengthy series on intelligent design. And now I'm going through a series on Calvinism, where I am critiquing it, and also been getting a lot of debate requests from that for some reason. But in any case, yeah, so mostly I'm studying limited atonement now. The topic is bigger than I thought it was going to be. So the video is taking longer on that, but I do have a video where I will be critiquing unconditional, limited atonement.
Most Calvinists these days, at some point in those debates, are probably going to refer to something from the compilation book, From Heaven He Came and Sought Her. You got a hold of that yet or heard about that?
I have a copy of it.
I imagine you would. I imagine you had. All right, well, that's good, man. Well, it's good to meet you, bro. And I like your setup and stuff there. And keep doing what you do, man. That's good. We got a really interesting panel tonight, I think, as everybody can see. And I'm impressed with everybody I've met just in a short time. Some I know better than others. And Zach is one I've been seeing a lot lately from Twitter. And then we did an interview together. And so he's the one I initially hit up. Now, I know I've known John from JMD longer, but I kind of saw it through some of the stuff Zach was doing. I was like, you know what? And then I kind of gave Zach the hard work, and then I kind of gave John the hard work. I said, look, can you round these guys up? Because just make it easy, you know what I mean? And let's just do this thing. Because I didn't really know everybody, and I could see everyone is even still getting to know each other. Because some of you guys know we did the thing called the Apologetics Empire, and bunch of social media people and YouTube apologists and all that got together and tried to collaborate and yada, 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 yada. Good times. Well, then I saw these videos called the Apologetic Youth Empire, and I was like, oh, shoot. And I said, you know what? This is a great time to introduce them to everybody. Maybe we get some more young apologists involved with what they're doing. By the way, if you're over your 20s, though, I don't think you're going to make the cut. So any apologist over 20, you're not going to be in the Apologetics Youth Empire. I'm a temporary honorary non-member who's allowed to be on the panel just because I'm hosting this. But sorry, guys, there is a little bit of ageism involved. Now, I think it's cool. In all seriousness, I think it's dope, and I think that actually makes sense. So I think that makes perfect sense, and I get it. And I'm glad you guys are doing what you do. So, Zach, Adherent Apologetics, a lot of people know the Twitter handle because you've got all these people battling each other. You know, you're constantly bringing division and disunity. And so that's your special ministry. But talk about what you do on Twitter and on YouTube. My man, Zach, man, what's up with you, homie? Zach?
All right, I was on mute. I got it now.
Okay.
What's up? I appreciate you having me on. I'm the guy that's destroying the Christian apologetics community by dividing them through polls. But so I'm Zach. I'm here in apologetics. I'm actually a legit youth apologetics empire member. I'm only 19.
Oh, yeah, but when I first met you and I was like, I can't believe 18. You're like, I'm not 18 anymore, man. I'm not 18, man. I had a birthday. It's like, sorry.
Yeah, dude. You read my bio. Why'd you read my bio, dude? That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, here at Apologetics, on the Twitter side, I just created this thing, Apologist March Madness. Didn't think it was gonna turn into really anything. It turned into something that's been big and has caused some division, but I think there's been a lot more good than harm that's come from it. So that's why we're gonna keep rolling with it.
Yeah, just so everyone knows, because sometimes people don't know how to take the jokes of an old man, apparently. I guess that's my place in this panel here. I'm just kidding. Zach has done a lot at a really young age. In all seriousness, this is my sincere side now. Bring out the saccharin to make people aware of each other in different sectors of the internet by doing these imitations of brackets from sports, where you have different apologists and then you vote for them on Twitter. And what I've seen it result in is more people following different people and being aware of new ministries and stuff. So I think it's really cool. I'm joking just because, people are going head to head and all that, but I've seen a lot of good. Every now and then, you see a nasty tweet. I was not really meaning that. Like Lee Strobel started following me out of it. So yeah, he beat me, but hey, he follows me now. I think he did out of sympathy, but I'm okay with sympathy follows. And so there's really cool things like that happening. And it's cool to see that somebody young can be like, all right, I'm going to do this and see what happens. And boom, next thing you know, you got all these people. So it's like an added value to the larger community. And, that's a beautiful idea. And it's great to see. And I think more of you guys on this panel are going to kind of be, not that same kind of idea, obviously, but we'll also bring added value to the community in ways that we don't know right now. So that's why I'm happy to kind of see it now and get to know everybody now. But keep on going, Zach. I wanted to just make sure people know I was just teasing about what I said. And all sincerity, I think it's dope what you did. But go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I totally get what you're saying. So yeah, Apologist March Madness stuff. It's been fun. We're working on trying to make that into a more international thing now. I've found a bunch of apologists from Africa, trying to get them involved, which is really cool. But then on the more YouTube side of here in apologetics, I'm still trying to figure out what my identity is there. I think that it's going to be a lot more interviews, talking with people, and not just talking with Christians, just talking with people from all walks of life. I want to talk with atheists and Mormons and Muslims and Hindus and Buddhists and all those fun people out there in the world, and just trying to understand what people believe and why they believe it. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah, because everybody knows atheists are a lot of fun. Well, I mean, in your defense, I mean, you have the two football helmets, one on each side of your head, obviously indicating, as we discussed earlier, you have experienced multiple concussions. So
I have brain trauma. Don't trust anything I say.
What position did you play, Zach?
I played linebacker, running back, wide receiver. Yeah.
What position did you receive the most injuries from?
Definitely running back. My line was trash. We got slaughtered. So it happens.
Are you a Steelers fan?
I am a Steelers fan, and if you can't deal with that, it sucks for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Ohio, but I never got into the Cleveland-Pittsburgh rivalry because I was more of a Cincinnati guy. So people in Cleveland are like barely part of Ohio. So, although in a matchup, I'm gonna go with Cleveland over Pittsburgh, but really, I don't really care that much. Although we do have a Baltimore guy here. So I don't know. Maybe there's something. I don't know. There's a Baltimore Cleveland thing happening, but
don't dox me.
Oh, I didn't say who. I didn't say who it was, Stelman. Now you're the one who said you're the Baltimore guy. I didn't say who.
Darn it.
Hey, me and Zach are the Steelers dudes. So
who's the Steelers guy? Oh, John, you are as well. Where are you from, John?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, we got two Pittsburgh people. Okay.
Well, I'm actually state colors, so I'm more in the middle. But PA is PA.
Yeah, I heard Pittsburgh's improved a lot. I heard you guys only get pollution warnings like once a week now because of all the smog. Is that right?
I have no clue. I honestly just don't care.
Well, in all seriousness, the Pittsburgh is known as like the kind of template for a Rust Belt city. If that
because you have like the steel plants and stuff.
Yeah, but my understanding is that I've been to Pittsburgh. I actually really like the city. My understanding is it's sort of recovered, kind of like Cleveland got a little better. You know, the lake's no longer burning. If anybody knows, in the 70s, there's a lake in Cleveland that had so much trash in it actually burned. But I heard things are better there. Anyways, I just like I like to get to know it. So Zach, people should definitely follow you. Check out what you're doing. You and I have an interview together, and so someone in the live chat, please drop that link. So when Zach and I talked, and it looks like we got some funny comments here. Real quick, Frank Christian says, just subbed to all of them. Mr. Phil Fox says, my wife is from Pittsburgh. DJ Next says, you doxed yourself. And this is true. So, you know, it's true.
I was just joking anyway. Ken Hovind already asked me where I'm from live on air. So I've been
Dustin
there, done
says, this looks like a really cool idea. An apologetics youth empire. And Rachel told me, don't worry, you're not an old man. And I appreciate that, Rachel. Thank you very much. Although these guys might disagree.
She's
Rox
just being
B
nice.
says, we need more female apologists in all age groups. Well, Rox B, you find them and bring them to these guys, and we'll see what happens. And then Hayden says, I'm glad Vocab brought these guys on. I now know I'm not alone. Hayden, you're not alone. All right, so let's go up to who we got next here. I'm kind of losing track, but I'm not really losing track. I'm total professional here. We got my main man, Jeremy Linn from Twin Cities Apologetics from Minnesota. How you doing, Jeremy?
Oh, pretty good there, you know.
That's good, man. You play along. That's good. That's the first rule they say of improv comedy is always say yes. So
yes, never
got
say
that
no.
down. Yeah, you got it. And you probably picked that up because you are the old man of the group. I'm not going to dox your age, but you barely made the cut. But I'm glad you're here, bro. I'm glad you're here, man.
I was going to say, it's not completely ageist around here, but I'll get to that later.
All right, but tell people about your channel, man.
Yes, it is. Well, I have a ministry that's been up for 3 years, Twin Cities Apologetics. We equip Christians, especially in the Midwest, Minnesota, with resources to help them strengthen and defend their faith. So we have local meetings, we are at conferences, connecting with people. We have stuff on social media everywhere, all the platforms. And for people outside the Twin Cities, especially, we have a podcast, Twin Cities Apologetics Podcast. There's the spelling.
Oh,
you can
nice.
check out. We got Frank Turek, Jay Warner, a bunch of guys on there. Yeah, for some great apologetics content. Now, when it comes to the age thing, I'm young in one sense, and that is these guys have their YouTube channels all up and running, these big YouTube channels. I am young in the process because I want to start a new YouTube channel, and I'm going to do so soon, but I'm young in the process. So much so that I cannot reveal the name of the channel right now. But I can tell you it's going to be high energy and creative and different than pretty much anything you see out there in apologetics right now. So if you want to follow updates about that, the best way to do that is to follow me on Twitter. So that's Jeremy Linn, 2 N's, Linn, and then an __ thing. So yes, I'm excited. That should be coming out in May or so. And I'll be right there with these guys in that channel. That's apart from the Twin Cities thing, it'll be for everyone.
So a lot of your older videos, your face was naked. When has what changed? How did you go from a boy to a man?
Literally, it was the idea that I'm going to start a YouTube channel and I want to have this, say, physical identity for people to know me by in the process. So it started last September when the idea came up, and that's when I started to change my hairstyle and the beard thing as well. So it's all surrounding this new YouTube launch.
Wow. All right. Okay. So when people were like, yeah, you know, I was checking out Jeremy Linn, and they're like, oh, you mean the Asian basketball player? Like, no, the guy with the hairstyle for YouTube and the beard. And like, yeah, that guy.
That's right.
Right on, man. You seem like you're a good sport. I like some of the stuff. You got Jay Warner Wallace, and you got a lot of interesting guests. Looks like you have some fun. You did some stuff with JMD, some stuff on philosophy, the problem of evil. So everybody definitely check out my man. And I appreciate you being on. And let me make sure we go all around the room. I'm not going to forget everybody. I'm just trying to see who else need to get to here. All right. I think we got 2 left. Dylan Johnson, welcome to Street Apologist Live. How you doing, Dylan? Tell us about who you are and what you do, bro. And maybe tell us your age, because I want to find out who's the youngest. So far, it's Invoking Theism, but let's hear you reveal your age if that's okay.
I am 18.
Oh, you're the winner. Is anyone younger than Dylan? Does anyone know? All right, you win the prize, bro. We'll give you some free socks or something
Yeah,
after
so
church.
I was just trying to get my channel link because I don't think I think Zach forgot. He probably didn't know about my channel, so he probably didn't link it. But I'm trying to get my channel link right now so I can post it into the chat. That way people could see it.
All right, what's the name of your channel, bro? I'll put it in the description right now.
Well, it's currently my name, so that's why I'm trying to get it because there's other people named Dylan Johnson. So
What's the name of one of your videos so I can find it?
Give me 1 second. Try this.
We'll make an excuse. We'll make an exception for this, Dylan, because you're only 18. But Zach said the reason he didn't want to put your YouTube channel in there because he said it sucked. That's why.
Dang,
Why are you putting me out there like that, man? What are you doing?
But then right after he said he had a concussion, so he wasn't sure. I'm just kidding, Dylan. He said nothing like that. But
it was actually Tim who said that.
Yeah, that was Tim actually. No, in all seriousness, Dylan, before you came on, I was asking everybody. This is the truth now. I was like, what's Dylan's thing? Somebody tell me. No, off the top of their head, nobody actually knew. We were actually racking our brains. This is a true story. We were like trying to look for it and figure it out. We actually could not. So I actually would appreciate it if you could give me something so I can grab it. I'll grab it and I'll put it in the description right now. But what you got for me, bro?
Yeah, so well, if it's gonna let me
what's a video title you have that I could search for, maybe?
Yeah, let me get it real quick. I'm just about, my computer is giving me trouble, so hopefully I can.
Young man with an old computer. Happens all the time.
Yeah, old computer. So I have the Resurrection introduction, because I'm currently working on a minimal facts series. But
I found you, bro. I found you, bro.
Oh, you got me?
Yeah.
Oh, you got Dylan Johnson?
Yep.
Cool.
I'll be your 81st subscriber. And I'll
Nice.
drop you in there so everyone can see it, and you'll be good to go, my man.
Yeah, so to tell you about
real quick, set your channel content not for kids, because it looks like you still have it for kids, and when it does that, people can't hit the bell. Yeah, you got to go through there and take it off because it limits what you can do. It's bad. It's not when they made the change on YouTube, it messes everything up. I can still tell yours is because people can't hit the bell on yours yet. You'll figure it out. I'm just saying when you can, you want to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out somehow because I did that by accident and I felt bad about it because now I have to, if people want to comment my videos, I have to go in and you know play around with the video.
Yep, it happens.
So hopefully I can figure that out.
Resurrection Jesus, philosophical theology, discussion with inspiring philosophy, live stream with Eric Thaler, channel update, Death in the Garden, can a Christian get tattoos, why we need apologetics, the importance of Christianity today, some of your videos.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm currently working on a minimal facts series. I've been I procrastinate too much. I think about, I'm always thinking about things. That's the thing, is there's always something going on in my head I'm thinking about or I'm trying to solve, and hopefully sometime within the near future I can just like post videos of all these problems I've solved and hopefully other people can see them. I'm currently reading Philosophical Foundations. I'm learning about the philosophy of science. It's pretty interesting so far because I'm teaching myself how to memorize, books, so I can hopefully implement them into my YouTube channel. But so I plan on attending SNU this year. That way I can get my degree in pastoral ministry because I had a call to ministry a couple of years ago. So I want to live out, after watching a video by IP about, it was called, I can't remember the name of the video. I think it had something to do with the problem of evil, or it was his Genesis series on and it was good. I was inspired by that to know what it means to be a true Christian, to go out and to make a difference in the world and to make this place like Eden. So I'm hoping soon I can do stuff like that, like go on mission trips and maybe spread, some content from my channel over to other countries who may not be able to see it.
Nice,
so I'm hoping I can, get a larger audience.
Are you from Texas, Dylan?
I'm actually from the state right above it.
Oklahoma?
Yep.
Okie dokie. Someone I feel like has me on a little bit because I hear a tad bit echo. I don't know if someone can turn something down a little bit because I don't want to hear myself. But right on, man. Well, I'll drop the link in the description box and I'll try to do it in the chat as well. We will come back to you. Now, my man that I met, almost 2 years ago, maybe. JMD, how you doing, John? Thanks for helping put this together. Appreciate you, man. Tell people what you're doing, what you got going on, bro. And I have a feeling, I could be wrong, this whole shebang was your idea?
Kyle had the idea. I helped form the group and so on, and the Discord. But I'm thinking of changing my name to the Beardless Apologist because everyone else here, a lot of them are younger than me. I just can't grow a beard. So that's on my bucket list. So that's what I'm trying to do at the moment. And thank you for subscribing.
I heard there's a 29-year-old. Heard there's a 28-year-old.
I'm 22. We're going to be 22 here soon.
Okay. All
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not officially part of the group, but you know.
All right.
No, but what I do at my channel, I'm trying to use my age and my philosophy studies. I'm a biblical studies and philosophy double major with a minor in student ministry at the college I go to. And my goal is to show that young people, like younger than me and my age, that it's rational to be a Christian and the evidence points that way. And because of that, you shouldn't assume atheism just because you've had maybe unanswered questions. There's good reasons to be a Christian. I sort of want to popularize philosophy and Christian apologetics to younger folks. And what I'm currently working on, I did this with Invoking Theism. I played an atheist character in which a lot of my arguments are just YouTube comments and just arguments that we argue with over atheists on other Discord servers and stuff. And I've been doing that. My fake podcast is Atheism Through Reason and Logic. It's a play off of my online ministry, Christian Truth Through Apologetics. So I've been doing a few of those. I plan on having Tyler Villa on to discuss presuppositionalism. He may have told you I'm sort of a soft presup.
Okay. Tyler's my man, smart guy, but I didn't know that. But shout out to you, bro.
Yeah, you know, the whole Calvinism thing, you know. No, I'm kidding. But and I'm planning on doing a more satirical videos, but I have a Divine Hiddenness video coming up. Blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. Sean McDowell may be a part of that video. That or the martyrdom of the Apostle Peter. So that's what I got going on right now. Mostly I've just been chilling because of this coronavirus and just reading the books and so on. Finishing up my spring semester.
Right on, man. Well, I'm looking over the live chat and trying to see what the okay. So we'll repeat ourselves a little bit, John, since I'm already talking to you. Vishal Charette says, "What's this about? I saw the title and found it catchy." So, John, what is this about? What is the Apologetics Youth Empire?
That was a major echo there. So Kyle sent me this idea of, maybe, you have the Apologetics Youth Empire. That's a bunch of boomers and millennials. You got that inspiring philosophy, David Wood, Frank Turek, who's definitely a boomer humor, and so on. So, we're like, maybe we should form a group of our own and, try and take over the world before they do with the youths. But in all seriousness, it's sort of a cultural apologetic standpoint of using our age to show that, you don't have to, it shouldn't be tied with older folks, and younger people really have thought about this stuff and find Christianity to be rational and true. And we're sort of using our age, and each of our channels focus on different topics. So we want to sort of combine a universal library for younger folks. And our goal is basically to reach younger folks and show them the truth of Christianity and the gospel and how it should apply to their lives. That would be my summary.
Well, why'd you forget about Generation X, bro?
True. Generation X.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Generation X. I guess Frank Turek's probably a boomer, but I'm Generation X.
I know he's a boomer just by his humor in New Jersey jokes, but
But I think it's cool, man. All right, now I got kind of a list of questions, so I'm gonna throw around the room, and we'll start with you, guys. Shorter answers are better. I want to kind of just go around and just do these quick little answers. Everyone, unmute your mic if you can. Everyone, just tell me as briefly as you can, because I'm allowed you 2 names if you want, because I want to go with apologist and theologian. And I know it may kind of get blurred, whatever. Don't get all detailed. Just give me basically two people you like. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get. Start with you, my man Johnson is talking to you, and then let's just take it as it comes. Favorite apologist, favorite theologian.
Every
Boom.
time I'm asked this, it just depends on the topic. But I'll just say William Lane Craig just for because he's the one who influenced me the most and answered a lot of my questions. And then theologian, it would come down to either Anselm, Augustine, or Aquinas. So basically any theologian with a cool A name. So it's sort of hard to choose between those three, but I'll say Aquinas for now.
All right, keep on going. I'll say the name. How about that? Stellman.
Yeah, I'm William Lane Craig just because he was the first guy I came across when I was 18 years old looking at this stuff. And yeah, theologian, I always go back to Anselm, not to repeat John, but like that I find myself quoting him more than anybody else, like when I'm having these discussions.
I never knew Anselm was going to be so hot with the kids. Okay, all right. Who would have known? Invoking Theism, how about you?
I'm gonna have to be redundant here and say William Lane Craig as well. Got me into this whole thing, and shoot, I sound like John. Aquinas is dope. So,
all right, what about you, Zach?
I'll just go a little different here. I'll say Ravi, just because I met him at an airport and hung out, and he's a cool dude. And then theologian, totally just a mood right now, but John Piper's really been a mood recently for me. So, yeah.
Oh, a mood dropping the slang. All right, what about you, Jeremy Lim?
I'll say Greg Kokel. He's been the most influential for me. Stand of Reason is where it's at. He's part of the reason why I'm in Minnesota. Came from Wisconsin. I can't do the thing right now. That's all right.
Wait, what thing?
I'm trying to do this
what is that thing? Wait, what are you doing, bro?
Minnesota, like that.
Oh, it's behind you. I get it. I thought you were trying to be like Wisconsin, bro, or something like that. But okay, I got you. Okay, keep on going. Right, you said Greg Kokel and who?
NT Wright. I mean,
NT Wright.
Boss.
Okay,
that's all I got.
You know what? Interesting brief story. I'm in Systematic Theology 501. Wayne Grudem's my teacher. Wayne Grudem's real fair guy. Always tries to present the other side, even though he's reformed, whatever, right? He's like trying to explain N.T. Wright's position on justification as best he can. And someone's like, well, I don't know that. And they ask Grudem, well, what would Wright say about this, right? And Grudem's like, I don't know what he would say about that. That's a good question. I don't remember the question right now in my head. But so somebody in class goes that night, emails N.T. Wright like at 2 a.m. or some nonsense, right? In England time. Next week we get together and they're like, hey, Dr. Grudem, remember that class, that question last week? What would N.T. Wright say about this particular soteriological question from the new perspective? He's like, yeah. It's like, well, I emailed him and he gave me an answer. It's like, what? So this guy reads this email from N.T. Wright. There was actually kind of a detailed email. We're like, bro, N.T. Wright's like a total night owl because he's like answering this seminary student who he's never met about this question in Grudem's class. It was like the most bizarre thing. I always thought it was so cool though. It was just like a weird experience. Like I was like, it made N.T. Wright look good. It made Grudem look good. It made the student look good. It was just a fun little time. But anyways, true story, people. All right, Dylan, what about you, man? Two faves.
All right, how does this microphone sound? It's my
You sound fine, but we're gonna have to work on your lighting. You look like you are made of pink.
So I actually adjusted that on my computer because I didn't like
You're the pinkest white man I've ever seen, bro.
Yeah, I didn't like the original look, so I kind of edited it. I'm glad I have this lamp here because without it, I look kind of weird. But with it on,
so this is you not looking weird. All right, got it.
Yeah, I have a more defined face, as you can see. It really sticks out more.
I'm just teasing you, Dylan. Nah, but who? You sound good though, bro. So who are your favorites?
Okay, so my apologist. It's got to be inspiring philosophy because he's still the reason why I can go on with my faith and why I'm so concerned with scholarship. And not that I don't really listen to like other apologists, but like I'm really concerned with like, reading from other scholars on these issues. And William Lane Craig would be one of them too. But Michael Jones for the apologist would have to be the most influential in my life because he's inspired me to do apologetics and has also inspired me in my faith too. Theologian had to be Timothy Keller. I've read his book.
Who?
Timothy Keller.
Oh, okay. I was like,
yeah, I read his book.
Tim Keller. Gotcha. That's great.
Yeah, I read his book, the reason for God, and I thought he made a really good case for why he believes. And I've listened to a bit of his sermons, especially on like "Do All Paths Lead to God," and I thought he gave a really good sermon on that. I think he's really I think he gives off this good vibe because he's from New York and there's a lot of secular people in New York, so he's got a really good way of spreading the gospel, and that's what I like to see from theologians like that. Like maybe Pastor Anderson, or spreading the gospel with fear. And just kidding, but I think Timothy Keller has just a really great gospel presentation, and that's why
Those are good answers. I like that. Okay, I think we went to John. Is David the only person I haven't asked? David?
I think so.
All right, David, what's up, bro? Who you like?
I would, I'm not going to go William Lane Craig. William Lane Craig is a favorite, but I think actually Tim McGrew is probably my favorite apologist. He just asks the same sort of questions that I do, and so he takes a methodology similar to me. Theologian, I'm going to go Brian Abasciano on that one.
All right, that's the only name I heard I don't recognize. Tell me who he is.
He's the founder and president of the Society of Evangelical Arminians, proponent of corporate election. That's probably what he's best known for.
There is a Society for Evangelical Arminians. I didn't know that. Did they go to ETS? Did they go to the Evangelical Theological Society meeting? Probably
certain members of them do.
All right.
Oh, your favorite theologian was John Calvin.
Yeah. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
No, that's interesting. Well, I like learning new things, so I appreciate that. Okay, so on to a not as serious question, but at the same time, I feel like I need to know, who is the least nerdy out of you guys?
I don't know.
Probably Tim. He does backflips on his Instagram stories.
Wait, what? You said
That is
Tim?
true.
Yeah, because he learned all his Instagram and Snapchat stories are just backflips. So I don't know too many nerds who do backflips.
Is that true, Tim? You do backflips on your Instagrams?
So yeah, so I have many hobbies besides
I'm
this.
a man of many talents and interests. Including backflips. All right, tell me about the backflips, bro. I want to hear this.
Okay, well, I do enjoy being upside down. But no,
that's why you're an Arminian. Okay.
Oh shoot.
Sorry, man. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. So you enjoy being upside down? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've seen like you've heard of like parkour and like stuff like that.
Oh, you do
right?
parkour for real?
Yeah, I've been doing that since I was like 12.
Oh, bro.
Same.
Have you seen those videos where they've been doing like the parkour indoors now because COVID-19, all that, where people like set up this stuff in their living room? They're pretty ill. Have you seen like any of these indoor, like in their house parkour videos?
Yeah, cool. I'm pretty submerged in the community, so a lot of people have been doing that. It's pretty dope.
Right.
It's pretty dope.
The beginning of what I think a lot of people might have seen parkour. Do you think, I don't know if this counts, so help me out. Does the beginning of that one James Bond count as parkour when they're like on the construction site or wherever the heck they are?
So you talk about that black dude jumping from the sand onto
I forgot what they're doing. I'm not a big 007 guy, but I saw the beginning of that and I was like, it seems like they're trying to incorporate parkour. What do you think?
Yeah, if we have the same movie correctly, that man, his name is Sebastian Foucan.
Okay.
He's one of the early founders of the movement, actually. Like,
so there is a parkour guy in one of the Bond movies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. That's probably the one I'm thinking of, I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay. You might now, maybe Zach with the concussions, maybe you get number 2 for least nerdy.
I mean, me and Stelman play Minecraft, so that tells you a lot. So
I also have a blue belt in Gaijin Jiu-Jitsu, though.
You have a brown belt with the red stripe and thanks you do. But
I'm about to start my own Adherent Apologetics tournament. It's going to be least nerdy Apologetics Youth Empire. We'll see who's going to win. I have a feeling, David, you might come in towards the bottom. What do you think?
I would have definitely put myself there.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad you guys are a good sport. I'm glad. Hopefully no one's actually super mad after this thing.
No, I'm mad, man.
I mean, I think I'm the only one here who plays drum set, so I think that may compete with Tim. Oh,
okay. What's
we
up,
have to have
Jeremy?
a drum off.
Okay. What do you got, Jeremy?
Hey,
You play drums
JMD,
too?
let's.
I've been playing since 4th grade, so Let's see what you got.
It's not a movie anyone should watch, but
You know
have
what?
you seen the drum scene in Step Brothers?
That's absolutely a movie everyone should watch. Yes, it's hilarious.
Jeremy, what were you gonna say though? You're about to say something.
Well, I played rock band in high school, so what you got? Bring
Did
it.
you play drums?
I played drums in college. Now I play drums for a worship team. I'm getting better at it. I'm probably not at JMD level, but you know, I try.
Well, I have a video if people want to see on my gaming channel. It's like JMD Gaming and Fun, and it was an old clip of me. I played quads in high school, and there's a clip of me. I have a solo there with a song called Jig 2. So,
But did you touch my drum set?
I didn't.
Okay. Sorry. All right. So I hear people are on YouTube, but but I also see some people are on Twitter. What are your guys' kind of main social media platforms? Like, I mean, I know you're on YouTube, but do you guys have other ones? Because Zach, I mean, you might be sort of, I guess, more known or something on Twitter. Like, and I'm also kind of interested in Discord. So you guys can talk a little bit kind of the social media platforms you traffic in. And before you do that, real quick, shout out to Connor Terrell for the super chat. Says, love to see people around my age getting involved in apologetics. Would love to get involved somehow. Connor, now you're my man, but you might be on the nerdy side because everyone knows you're a thespian. And we know about you drama kings. So he's I hope he can take the joke. Someone else gave the super chat earlier, and I lost track of that person, and I apologize. I'm looking for you. Can someone tell me who that person was? I'm so sorry. I did not get to you in the super chat, and I need to give you a shout out. I'm looking for you, and I cannot find you. I'm sorry. But let's talk about some of the social media platforms you guys are on besides YouTube. As far as what I mean is if you're digging in, I don't just mean you have a presence, but like the Discord stuff I'm interested in, Zach on Twitter, maybe even Invoking Theism if you're doing stuff on Instagram. But could you guys talk a little about that? Because I'd like to expose people and maybe get them to follow other stuff you're doing. Let's start off with Discord. John, could you talk a little about Discord? I want to hear about this.
So originally I set up this one Discord server for my own channel, and I have like, I even have a Tumblr. Like I try and maximize everything because that's what George Jill suggested, because me and Jeremy were actually in the same CIA class in 2017 across Instructor Academy. But so Discord is sort of this thing that gamers usually use, but a lot of apologists actually have that, and that's something that from a cultural standpoint we can reach people younger than us because a lot of them are into gaming, and Discord is a platform that a lot of younger people use. But it's sort of a thing where you can interact on voice chat and text chats and so on. And it's just for better communication. Me and Tim and a few others are on this one Discord that TikTok atheists made, and they're basically regurgitations of Dawkins and Harris and Hitchens and so on. But there's much better conversation on there than TikTok, I will say. So that's sort of Discord. But I had a
better
Discord.
Conversations on Discord than TikTok, but you guys are doing stuff on TikTok?
I'm not. I know Zach's one friend, Carl, is doing stuff on TikTok.
I'd be curious to see people doing apologetics on TikTok because so I got a homie here in Phoenix. He does a channel on Instagram called urban_apologetics. My man just got married, so he's probably not gonna be real active right now, at least not active online. That's my man. He's been on the show before, cool guy. And he's got like, I forget now. I don't remember what he's at, but he's at a grip of followers when it comes on Instagram. And he mainly does like memes. And I think it's pretty cool the way he's used that platform. You know what I mean? So I'd love to see some people excelling at TikTok and Discord, although I know less about, honestly, I probably know less about Discord than I even do TikTok, which is strange. But that's interesting. So I'd love to talk to some of those people in the future maybe as well. I'd love to do a show that's like apologists doing apologetics on like alternative social media platforms, maybe that aren't as well known to older folks, because everyone's grandma knows Facebook, right? But not everyone knows how to do stuff in these different platforms, right? And I'd love to hear more about that one day. But anybody else, where else do you kind of traffic in as far as social media spots, everybody?
For me, I do Instagram. It's philosophical_theology. I mostly post anything that comes to mind that I see intriguing, like the whole Kenneth Copeland thing about, COVID-19 and his, needs money. I told him, I told my followers, I was like, just because it's a coronavirus going around doesn't mean you should stop paying Kenneth Copeland, man. He needs that private jet, and it's like, come on, guys, like I can't pay him by myself. You got to help me, he really wants that private jet, and I thought, I ought to share this with my fans, get Kenneth Copeland some more, generous payers,
Yeah, that Kenneth Copeland, where he's like doing all that stuff. I mean, it may have been like silly, and heretical, but gosh, man,
it's powerful.
I don't know the last time I've got so much enjoyment out of a sermon or whatever that is, because all the videos that have come out from that have been such fire. They drop these beats, and then the dude is like spitting because he's got the call and response. He does a COVID-19. He's got these little like soup brigade guys, a COVID-19, and dude, and he's got the whole theatrics. Like, I was like, bro, this is kind of fire, man. I mean,
did you see that one video of Did you see that one video where that guy played piano to Kenneth Copeland?
No.
This is, I can't remember his name, but he played piano during that clip of that sermon, and it was he tried the best he can to mimic the notes to what they were saying, and it was just it was just amazing.
Kenneth Copeland has some secret gifts. I mean, besides ripping people off and bilking them for their money as a charlatan, I think he might actually have some skills. Like, I'd like to see this dude really pursue this rap. How many dudes his age can have that voice at that level?
Well,
I'm
just
just
probably plates too, like Joseph Smith, but
I don't know. Well, Joseph Smith, he got shot kind of early, so we don't really know what he got to do. The Mormons tell you he went out like a martyr, but the truth is Joseph Smith went out like Samity Sand, two guns blazing.
You also have atheists who say that as well.
What do they say?
That they try and use with the minimal facts. They try and use Joseph Smith. He couldn't have hallucinated because he died as a martyr, but historically that's not true, as you described it.
The atheist. You got the atheists going to bat for Joseph Smith as a hypothetical. Okay, that sounds interesting. All right, so
Pine Creek doing stuff.
Pine Creek. Oh, that guy, man, he's such a funny guy.
I know he had eyewitnesses too. It's like, yeah, but they didn't die for what they claimed was true.
Well,
in fact, no, some
if you
recanted.
read it, a lot of the guys said later, "I saw it with my spiritual eyes."
Yeah,
it's like, bro,
all of them except for the ones who were his direct family members recanted.
Yeah. My spiritual eyes. Okay, bro. The spiritual eyes. So Zach, man, you got some followers on Twitter once you started pitting everybody against each other, man. So you're at Adherent Apologetics, I believe, and you're like, what, 8,000 followers on Twitter?
Yeah, it's at apologetics. I can't fit Adherent Apologetics into a handle, but I think it's like 8,500, something like that. Got a lot of followers from the Apologist March Madness stuff, which is cool. People like seeing apologists go head to head.
That stuff took a lot of work, man. Took a lot of work.
Only thing I want to add, TikTok, because talking about my boy, I think it was John that mentioned Carl, really good friend of mine. TikTok Apologetics, really, it's a cool thing that he's doing. Like, he was bored in his car. He was like on a long ride, and he just made this like 10-part series on the resurrection.
Sounds like every TikTok origin story, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah, his TikTok, if you search it, it's like, "This isn't my fault." That's his handle. He's terrible at making handle names. But he made this one.
Yet you remembered it.
That's true. But he made this one. It was like just about basically just debunking the hallucination theory in like 15 seconds. It had like 300,000 views. Like, it's just like TikTok. You never know what can just like pop off and reach a lot of people and just like.
That's true.
A few minutes. So yeah.
In Invoking Theism, do you do apologetic stuff, or is your Instagram mainly the parkour stuff? I'm cool either way. I'm just curious.
So, I have. So when I first started, I do have an Instagram. Like, if you search Invoking Theism on Instagram, it's there. But I haven't touched it since like 2018.
Okay.
So all
back
that
when
stuff,
back when you were 19 years old.
Yeah, pretty much. and so so on my personal Instagram, that's where I'm doing all the cool stuff. But where I'm active on is would be Discord and Twitter. Those are my main two places. So if you want to see kind of how I digest what I'm thinking, philosophizing, and things of that sort, follow me on Twitter. If you want to interact with me and talk with me verbally and stuff, that's Discord. So
all right, now guys, we're gonna switch on to a serious question that might get you in trouble, but I'm all about that life. What do you hope to do differently than your apologetic processors. This is the time for you to manifest. Okay, Boomer.
Yeah, can I go first?
Yes, you can go first. Let's hear what you got to say, bro.
Yeah, so this will be very controversial, but I hope to reach more people in open forum discussions than formal debates, because I think to some people, just if the goal is to decimate the opponent, I think that misses the point of apologetics. Now, of course, people get saved from that. I'm not saying don't do formal debates, but I think almost watching debates as your main source puts you in the mindset I have to destroy the other opponent. And when you're talking to someone on the street, and if you have that mindset, it's going to show that you're not really open. You just want to destroy their beliefs, and you're not actually listening to what they say. Now, of course, not all apologists do that, but I've come across people who have just watched William Lane Craig debates and have that mindset, and I think they're going to miss the whole point of spreading the gospel through apologetics and so on. So that'd be my first controversial opinion.
All right, keep it going. Keep it going. What else you got? Speak.
Well, I was going to ask you, how would that be different if it's an open forum discussion? Are you talking about open forum discussions with atheists, though?
Yeah.
Okay, so what specifically?
Not cross-examine and rebuttals, because you can actually, you're not as nervous, you're not as tense, and you can actually go back and forth with the conversation.
Yeah, and I prefer that because that's how I learned too.
Just from my experience, I did one formal debate, and it was open discussion like that, and it was so much better than other formal debates and stuff I've done.
Yeah. One thing I want to do kind of different, and John McCrae's really hit on this. That was kind of how I wanted to do my YouTube channel. I took a very different turn, but a lot of comedy in there. And that's what John and I have been working on. He mentioned his devil's advocate things. I have an atheist advocate segment on my channel where I go full on atheist with the British accent, mustache, and everything. And I debate guys that did Greg Kokel, Gary Habermas, Frank Turek. Me and John are working on a tag team one. More on that to follow. But yeah, I do keep updates on Twitter and Facebook, the Unapologetic Apologists.
All right. Who else got something controversial to say? Go ahead and okay, Boomer, all the apologists before you guys. Let's do it.
I don't know if I can help you out with the controversial thing, but I'll do my part. I'll try. So I think what we need in apologetics is variety is one way to put it. So I have this vision right now where like the idea is for young people and for young adults to, like, for everyone in America specifically, like, to be exposed to apologetics content in some manner. That's like my current vision. So like right now, a lot of what I see is say responses to atheists through videos, or maybe covering some sort of specific Christian apologist content through a long format video discussing the topic. And those things are great. I think we need more responses to atheists and perhaps more debates as well. But I think we need other things too. And what I want to do is more short format type of content, and content that is like creative in the sense that like people like will want to view the content because they're both entertained by it and they're also informed by it. So yeah, I think, again, the variety of having that type of content, more of the short formats, something like TikTok is all about that, having these short videos where people can still consume content, still have this information, apologetics content, but in a way where they will actually want to go there for people who perhaps aren't attracted to those debates that are hour and a half long, or aren't part of that Christian atheist discussion all the time. So reaching out further in that sense.
Can you dance?
Yes, I can.
Do you know how to hit the whoa?
I can do better than that.
We'll give it. Maybe next time we'll have you do a full, 15-second all out. So we'll see you do a duet with what's Charlie something? I know she's Italian,
or whatever. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
I'll work on the TikTok challenges.
Yeah, well, I think what these apologists need to do is William Lane Craig, J.P. Moreland, Kokel, maybe. They need to learn a couple moves. They need to do a couple moves.
I totally want to see William Lane Craig do that. Yeah.
All right. Anybody else? Stuff different.
I'll say two
than
things.
Your predecessors.
Yeah, I'll say two things. First thing, what I really want to kind of inspire and to kind of change a generation and to go forth and do this would be a larger emphasis on scholarship. There's a plethora of popular content out there, and a lot of surface level stuff. But if we think about apologetics and the things and the fields that we utilize to make a case for Christianity, it's from dispersed, distinct fields such as history. It can be from philosophy. It can be from science and things of that sort. And so I think a larger emphasis on doing scholarship rather than focusing on, I guess, popular level type arguments, but rather being able to understand certain fields in depthly yourself and being able to utilize that in your approach, I think would change a lot. And it would allow this whole myth that Christians leave their minds at the door. I think that would eventually fade away. Second controversial thing I like to say, sorry, David, is the whole stigmatism around biological evolution. I think I would really want that to eventually people actually look in depthly into that as well in terms of scholarship, and look at the more nuanced understanding rather than just critiquing neo-Darwinism all day, but rather looking into the cutting edge research being done in that at the moment. So
we got a Hebrew Israelite who's a regular here, Tim, and here's what he says about you. He says, "See, Invoking Theism has an original regular background, a simple room, not a bookcase behind him to appear smart, just a homie seeking truth."
Hey, it's real, yo.
So your lack of bookshelf, bro. Your gimmick is you have no gimmicks. Hey,
Sick, bro.
All I have is a banner, so maybe that's too aesthetically though.
No, I like my Hebrew Israelites. They come in and you never know what they're gonna say. So there's what he said there. So he's got your back, bro. He's got your back. All right. Anybody else want to say what's some different stuff you want to do than those before you?
Okay, so I think that students going into the ministry, such as me, should be required to learn apologetics, especially at an advanced form. Should I say, like scholarship, like Invoking Theism said, they should be exposed to the scholarship. And I think that youth students, so like youth groups should have, like how youth pastors teach them basic theology, they should also, combine basic apologetics into it. I think this would really I think this would really open some eyes, because I see how a lot of pastors won't ever be exposed to apologetics. And this is what kind of bothers me, is that because they're never going to be exposed to it, they're not going to pass it down to younger kids, and they're eventually going to be exposed to it in the wrong way, where they'll go off to a secular university, and that's when they'll be challenged with a bunch of these questions. So I think that pastors should be exposed to the scholarship side of apologetics from professionals during their when they're at college, and then they should pass it down in a more basic form to their students, like how they would with theology.
All right. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. David Wood is in the house, everybody. The OG
Us all.
of the original apologetics empire. And he says that you're a bunch of nerds who have never been in jail or mental hospitals in their entire lives.
My family is a bit of a mental mess, but I've never been in a mental hospital, so
We could work on it too. We have time.
Yeah. Your whole life's ahead of you. You could, David, who are you to smash their dreams? You know what their goals are. Andrew Martin, gonna go ahead and put you in timeout for your not kosher comment, and come back and play nice, and maybe you can stick around. But if not, peace out. David liked your guys' joke, I think, with that. Anybody else before I move on to the next question?
I would
Yeah, I'll
say
just touch
that.
on something really quick.
Go ahead.
Go for it, Zach.
All right. I mean, if you insist. I just think making apologetics relevant. Like, I'm just thinking like 90% of probably 95% of my friends, if I said, yeah, I'm talking with William Lane Craig, they'd be like, who's that? Like, even my Christian friends. So like, just trying to find ways to reach people like my age. Cause like, I think Instagram, like there's not really a big Christian apologetics account on Instagram yet. Like I'm talking like tens of thousands of followers in my mind. So just trying to find a way to make that relevant, you know? So yeah.
Agree. Last but not least,
I think methodology should be emphasized, and there are some apologists who have, made this important, but a lot of it is just like, I almost feel like it's pat answers sometimes. It's or it's just giving information, and to me, it's always been more important that we are training people how to think properly than that they are coming to the exact same beliefs as us. And so, Tim, I know you hit me up with the evolution there. I know that you know the topic. You probably know the topic better than I do. And I know that you disagree with me on it for having studied it and for knowing it well. And so, that is acceptable to me. I would have an issue with somebody believing in evolution for no reason whatsoever. But when somebody has, a good methodology there, and that's just the way of life, I think that is much more important and much more valuable if we get people to become careful thinkers than just to know the right answers.
No doubt.
Oh,
Well, I just want to say one more thing. Obviously, Tim, that means you take man's word over God's word. So.
Just like Michael Jones.
dang, I fell into that.
We got let's see here. So, all right. Well, I'm not gonna read all these comments. I got some comments there, but I'm gonna wait on those. Okay, that's good. Now I got a couple more questions I'm gonna get to and see how. So, kind of related to that, what do you guys think? Maybe you've kind of already said it. If you got to make a number one issue, most pressing apologetic issue, biggest pressing issue. What do you think it is? I'd like to hear what you guys think is important and urgent.
Oh, I know what it is on my head, but I don't know if I should really.
I think Zach hit the nail on. I'm going to butcher the phrase. No, I think Zach, when he said make it relevant, I think making truth relevant to people's lives, because I think people just live in this postmodern era where, truth, it could be a real thing, but how does it affect me? And I think that should be a very, maybe not the number one emphasis, but an emphasis, because that opens up, okay, if truth is really an important aspect of life, then we should try to start with the dude who claimed to be the truth and had the most impact on human life and culture.
Good. All right. Most pressing issue. Somebody else. What's the big issues on the table?
Presentation, because I've seen some apologists do a not so good job at presenting apologetics, and that's where it can become, because we consider it a tool, it can become more of a weapon if we don't use it correctly. And so I think we should really make good presentations, like present it better in a loving and charismatic way, and not just to people, not just like to should I say just smart people, but like everybody, layman included. Even if we go to places like Africa, we should give them maybe a basic presentation of what apologetics is. That way, that could possibly give them maybe a future career choice.
All right, yeah, and we got my man Zach, who says he's actually been finding some international apologists, which I think is pretty dope in different contexts. All right, somebody else, help me hear your heart, what you think number one pressing issue is in regards to apologetics.
I know I said I wanted variety earlier, but I'm going to copy from Michael Licona, Gary Habermas, people like that, and say the resurrection of Jesus is pretty much always the number one issue when it comes to apologetics and answering the questions that people have out there. That just relays the fact that this is about the gospel and people knowing Christ and what he's done for them. With that said, there are definitely pressing issues in terms of the questions that people in our culture are asking. Anything related to LGBT issues are huge right now, very difficult to navigate and emotional for sure. The questions related to hell and evil, they can kind of be combined, but that's definitely difficult. And some of the deconversion stories that we've heard lately over the last year involved evolution, typically in some sense. So that tends to be another one to explain the connection between that and Christian theology. So yes, definitely currently pressing issues, but I would say resurrection is always number one.
Nice. Anybody else want to share? Number one, maybe you're even your number two.
I was going to follow off of what Jeremy said there is the resurrection is obviously important, but I do feel like we have a lot of material on the resurrection, as well as, questions like the existence of God. One thing that I think really strengthens the case for the resurrection is an emphasis on the historical reliability of the New Testament. And while we have some great works on that, I really think that deserves a lot more attention. And then also systematic theology. Having a coherent theology is something that does not get as much attention as I think it should. And so while, apologists can be good with answering basic apologetic questions, sometimes they're not as good when somebody throws a objection at the basic coherence of the Christian overarching theology there. And so I do think coherence there is important.
All right, good.
Yeah, I'll
Somebody else
just
that had some. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go. Just if you don't mind. A little bit of a different tangent here, but just like showing people that their lives have value and purpose. Like, for example, about a year-ish ago, a little over a year ago now, I went with some friends I live about 2 miles from Penn State, which is one of the more liberal universities in America. And we just kind of went around and just kind of asked people about, like, the big questions: origin, identity, meaning, morality, destiny, that fun stuff. And like a lot of people, especially college students, they didn't really know that their life had any meaning. Like they just saw it's like, oh, yeah, you're here for a fun time. You just live your life. I think if we could show people that their lives actually have a meaning, that they actually have a purpose in their lives, I think if we get them questioning these things, then they can kind of come to these apologetic topics and really just start to see the truth of Christianity. So I think just showing people that their lives have meaning is something that we should really try to be emphasizing more.
Good, man. Yeah, I mean, the gospel meets every need. It is the bread of life because of Jesus. Anybody else with a final comment on that before?
Yeah, maybe just to echo what John said about emphasizing the importance of living out truth, but you got to do that by making it relevant to the person. I remember, for example, I was having a discussion with a friend of mine. He was an atheist, but he was like heavy into politics, and him and I both shared that we were conservative. And I said, well, okay, so you believe in things like rights, like the government protects rights, but it can't take them away. And he said, yeah. So I was like, well, how do you ground those? And so I was able to make Christianity appealing to him in that way by giving him kind of a grounding for the principles that he was really passionate about on another subject, but kind of giving him this foundation. So yeah, I mean, emphasizing the importance of living out truth, but you got to make it relevant to people, or they really don't care.
No doubt. Anybody else? I don't want to leave anybody out here. Those are good answers. It's good to hear the vibe of the room.
The current thing I'm on right now is and something I'm really focusing on is, I think, being able to because these, at the end of the day, these are worldview discussions with people. And being able to navigate these worldview discussions with people in a way that is non-tribal, I think, is going to be so much more productive than coming at it with my side against your side and let's talk about it. And so I guess my thing is I want to be able to approach people, talk with people, and kind of use their thinking and use the way they think, and be able to use what I've learned as an approach to be able to show them that I want to lead them down the right road to kind of being able to see the conclusions themselves. And I think if people actually are able to see that we are not coming from a certain side, I'm Christian, but rather trying to help them seek the truth and things of that sort, I think it will greatly impact a lot of things. And of course, being able to admit that you could be wrong about certain things, and you would want to look into it with them and things of that sort. I think is ultimately helpful when it comes to having the conversation with the person. But with that comes a sort of competency with the knowledge that you have. You're going to have to be able to really know the material that you are trying to show them in a way to be able to masterfully give that to them in that way. You become more defensive when you don't really have that great of defense. So all that to say is that if this whole tribalistic mindset of having worldview discussions is if that barrier is broken down, I feel like a lot more productive things can happen, and people can actually have a wider sight and see the light a lot better.
No doubt. All right, man. Appreciate that. Now, can any of you here on this panel say something bad or negative about David Wood or maybe Sam Shamoon? Added bonus if you can throw John McCrae under the bus. Anybody got any pre-canned disses for any of those?
John and Shamu are bald, and then David Wood's main thumbnail is one hit man, one punch man who's also bald. So there you go. I'll be the first one to go for the cheap shots.
That's good. That's good, man. You know, you're getting something. Anybody else got anything else to say negative about these guys? Maybe their age.
And David Wood clearly lost his debate with Matt Dillahunty. I mean, let's just be real.
Hear that, David Wood?
Yeah, to quote Matt Dillahunty, when David said he's a philosopher, I'd debate that.
Oh yeah.
He's like, that's debatable.
I'm just not convinced.
No. Also that he was being disingenuous, and it was like talking to a wall. So
yeah, man.
Maybe he's just confused by the rectangle head. I don't know.
That's another debate. I guess Matt would have to lose. That's good though. Anything else, guys? Anything else negative about David would be great.
I would say the Boom Boom Room, probably my least favorite YouTube series ever. I guess that one, the guy who played Muhammad was okay. Otherwise, just not really a fan, you know.
Socrates was pretty good though.
Oh, you guys saw? Okay. Welcome to the Boom Boom Room. I will shove this detonator right through your eye socket.
So, by the way, this is exactly like that series is exactly the sort of thing I'm talking about creative short content that people like. I personally, whenever that video came out, I wanted to watch right away. I was all on it. So more of that. That's what we need.
All right. Leave a message. User is offline. Says David Wood interrupts his guest too much. Ooh, David Wood. Ha, take that. And he totally does. He's like, wait, real quick. You know, it's totally true. Fred Sanford says he has something negative to say about you guys. You're so young. So he's totally First Timothying you guys, despising your youth.
I feel that the most because I'm the youngest here.
You feel that hurts the most? It hits a different way?
Yeah, because I'm the youngest, man, and you know that's.
See we got a spread here. We got 18 to 29 out of this group. By the way, is this the whole group, or is there someone who's not present? Or is there someone you're trying to recruit?
Kyle and like a few newer people.
Who's Kyle? So Kyle can't be here. Let's give him a quick shout out. Tell me about Kyle real quick.
He's the one who sent me the idea, and his channel is Christian Idealism. His focus is philosophy of mind and consciousness, and he's a heretical idealist. No, I'm kidding, but very confusing stuff that I still don't completely understand yet.
Yeah.
So why couldn't Kyle be here?
Work.
His mom said he couldn't come on.
Work.
Some of you guys are younger.
Yes.
I'm sorry, just kidding for Kyle. What is this? This is all right. Yeah, work. I got you. All right. No doubt. Ready Made. Thanks for the super chat. Shout out to you. And let me see here. What else we got here? Guys, to the live chat, listen up. In about 5 minutes or so, I'm going to open this up for questions. So all the burning questions you want to ask them, ask. Some of you are so out of touch that you may not even have apologetic questions. You may want to understand something else about what it means to be 18 through 29 these days. You can even ask those, and they'll help you out. They'll culturally acclimate you to the 21st century. That's how nice these guys are. All right, so are any of you guys Calvinists, or do you all hate the Bible?
Oh boy.
I'm not a Calvinist, but I'm a lot closer to a Calvinist than I ever thought I'd be within the past few months. getting there. I'm not all the way.
John
Calvinist,
Piper's
but
been working his magic. on
Yeah,
you.
yeah, he has.
He's the way I thought on a few things.
Join the dark side. Use your hate.
I can feel the hate swelling within you.
No, certainly not a Calvinist, but I know something funny. Anytime I'm reading an apologetics book and a negative topic comes up, it's somehow John Calvin's always tied into there. You like among all the lists of all the names of the people tied in with this negative topic, John Calvin's like always in there.
He's always the one they throw under the bus. He's the bearer of bad news when it comes to
Exactly.
Christianity. All right,
And give him up to the magistrates of Geneva.
Yep. Servetus. No, but so who's the most anti-Calvinist on the panel?
That's easy.
Probably
Technically writing a book on the topic, so I probably get the prize there.
Okay. Now, do you have any Calvinist friends?
Many. I love Calvinists.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I like Sproul. I was reading. What was I just reading by him? I read Chosen by God. I probably should have started with What is Reformed Theology, but I was reading What is Reformed Theology. Edwin Palmer, Piper. They're brilliant. So I enjoy their work. I simply disagree with them theologically.
So, who is the least ecumenical towards Calvinists? Because I don't feel like it's you. Because I saw on one of your guys' pages, I don't remember who it was, but it was on Facebook when you announced this. Someone was like, "Save vocab from Calvinism." So
I think that was on my page.
It was on your page. All right, no, you guys are good sports. You guys are good sports in all seriousness. Now here. What about this? This is serious. I see you guys have a heavy emphasis, and I think this is good. So this isn't meant any on like a lot of the philosophical theological side of things. Like who, like out of you guys, are some of you more sort of I don't know how to rightly say it, but sort of more in like the biblical theological side, like a Mike Winger versus the philosophical, like a Cameron or a Michael Jones. Like I'd be curious on the spectrum, like kind of where you guys lean. I don't mean it in a negative way, just kind of your interest and stuff. You guys know what I'm saying? I'm curious, like where you fall. Talk about that a little bit before I take audience questions.
I'd definitely be more closer to the, should I say, Michael Jones side. Not that biblical theology is like, because obviously I'm going to be, a youth pastor, and so it's going to be important to me. But right now, should I say, I put a big emphasis on apologetics in my life because I find it really not only fun to study, but also I realized the importance of it later on for younger audience. I just think it just doesn't get as much attention as it should get, and that's why I put more attention on it now than I did in the past, because I realized that it's going to be important for me here pretty soon.
And what I don't remember if you said this already, so forgive me if you have. What did you say you were gonna look at for like major or study when you go to SMU? What are you looking at getting into?
Southern Nazarene University. It'd be pastoral ministry. I actually thought about theology at first, but
Okay.
I either take theology and go to seminary, or I can take pastoral ministry and I don't have to go to seminary and I can just go straight to start preaching.
So do you want to be do you want to be in pastoral ministry one day?
Yeah, in fact, that was the calling I had. I went at church camp once. I was kind of in a rough spot, and that's when God called me in. He told me, be into the ministry, and specifically to take pastoral ministry. And I felt a really big urge to go into the youth ministry. I mean, not that, because I could probably go into just pastoral if I wanted to, but I want to do youth ministry because I feel it's just the younger students are so much important right now at this current state, that if they go off to a secular university and they're exposed to this, to all these questions, it's gonna, if they don't know how to respond to it, it's going to really tear down their faith. And that's what worries me, and that's why I want to make that difference in their lives and prepare them with those types of questions. That way they can respond to their, maybe professors, or they can just keep their faith,
That's beautiful, man. It's good to hear your heart. We need more apologists who are pastors and more pastors who are apologetically minded. A lot of confusion was just cleared up for me. I originally thought you'd said SMU. That's why I asked you from your rival in South Texas, but you said SMU, which I understand now. Southern Nazarene. No, I understand. It makes a lot more sense. All right, that's dope. That's good. Now, guys, we're about to go to the Q&A. I see Zach has to leave. Zach, final closing words before you got to jam out, my man.
Just appreciate your time. Appreciate you promoting me as I put apologists against each other. But on the real side, though, I really appreciate you. These guys are great. Go check out all these other dudes.
Zach,
it's an honor to be here.
Do you have the top or the bottom bunk?
I have the bottom. I never had. This is like my parents were just too cheap to buy me my own bed. So this is actually like my dad's bed from like the 70s or something. So it's just, yeah.
Every night Zach goes to bed, he's like, I got the bottom. I'm just kidding. He's got real life stepbrothers.
It's a secret, bro. It's a secret.
He's walking around like there's so much room for so many activities. Okay, now Zach, man, I appreciate you and your help putting this together. Everyone check out Zachary. Now, how do you pronounce your last name? Because it looks like Sechler.
You are like the first person in the world that's actually said it right on the first try. It's Sechler.
Yes!
Most people say like Sechler.
Bro, if you were an atheist, you'd have the ultimate name. You'd be like the secular Sechler or something, like something like you could be like that guy.
Secular skeptic.
Zachary Secular.
I'm pretty sure the root of Sechler is like secular, like a skeptic from like way back in the day. So yeah.
You hail from a long line of skeptics.
Yes,
all right, that's awesome though, man. We'll keep it up, and thanks for doing what you do, bro. And we'll be in contact. And maybe one day, maybe I should maybe I should take some of our interview, maybe put it on my channel one day. Maybe that might help promote it if that's all right with you. I might do that one day, something like that. But keep it up, bro. Keep it up, and you have a good night. Now let's get to these questions. Unless anyone else has to leave. Anyone else got to go? All right, Mr. Phil Fox, thank you for the super chat. And he wants to know if you guys can take the heat. I think they have. You've seen they've been doing great, right? All right, let's see. Let's see here. What are the questions here? All right. Well, Salem wants to kind of let you guys know. Salem says, I'm 17 and I run a small Twitter page. Can I join in the Youth Apologetic Empire? Well, Salem, I'm not in charge, okay? They don't let the Gen Xers control this thing, okay? First of all. Second of all, it depends, man. You got to step up your game, bro. We got to, what's your name on, Twitter? What are you doing, Salem? Let us know. Like, throw your handle at us. Let me see. And then it's basically show and prove, baby. You show, and then it'll speak for itself. But I'm not saying nothing about admittance. I'm just saying, get out there, do your thing. But why don't you at least, Salem, share your Twitter handle, and then we can see. All right, how about that? All right, we've got some other questions here. Let me see. It looks like we got Skeptical Manus in the house, and Skeptical Manus really wants us to interact with Pine Creek. It looks like he's kind of promoting that. It looks like mainly me. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys are. I don't know. Do you guys know Pine Creek is, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
he needs to have a question for me. I was in a conversation with him once, like a year ago. He probably doesn't remember, but I asked him one question. He answered it, and I was just like, okay.
That was it. Your job was done when you was a 17-year-old. Salem says the Twitter name is Inspiring Christianity. All right.
They follow me.
All right. Looks like you've already got a little name recognition there. Yeah. Skeptical Man says, I'd love to see all these young guys on Pine Creek. Okay. Question. Paul wants to know. Oh gosh, this is the kind of controversial question I actually didn't want to ask because you're gonna make me bare my Calvinist teeth here, Paul. But I'm gonna let them answer first, and I'm just trying to be just chilling. Do you push for ecumenicism, working with Orthodox, Catholics, and other denominations? Now, I would personally contend with the way some of the questions worded. However, I'll let you guys answer how you want. Basically, Paul wants to know your stance on Eastern Orthodox and Roman Catholicism. It appears like, and maybe to some extent, other denominations. Speak on it if you want to speak on it. Because that's the first question we've got. Go ahead.
I think any denomination.
I don't know enough about Eastern Orthodoxy. From my understanding, it's not as controversial as some of the stuff in Catholicism. But I'll just say that most Catholics would describe themselves probably as like bad Catholics and good Christians. So I think most Catholics are probably saved, but when it comes to the papacy and so on, I think they're pretty heretical. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, it's I don't know if you guys saw during the coronavirus stuff, the Pope was basically saying, hey, you can't go confess to your priest and all this, so you guys just go directly to God during this time of COVID-19. And I was all like, Protestants for the win.
Right.
Like, yeah, we've been saying that for 500 some years. Go directly to God. That's right. Anyway, sorry. Poor
What
Paul,
Jesus
my
did.
God. Yeah, but
Well,
I mean, anyone else want to comment on that?
So I think that I'm pretty cool with Roman Catholicism and Eastern Orthodoxy, and most other denominations around the world. I just think the denominations I'm not too the denominations I think are heretical are those who exclude the divinity of Jesus, like Mormons, Jehovah Witnesses. I think they're I would put them on a scale. If it had to be 1 to 10, I would say they're I'd probably say about a maybe 8 or a 9, because to exclude the divinity of Jesus is a pretty big deal in terms of salvation, because you're putting your salvation in a created being rather than God himself. And I think that's why I really mostly cool with denominations that acknowledge the divinity of Jesus, which would be, one of them would be Roman Catholicism and of course Eastern Orthodoxy. But the ones I would not be cool with are, Mormons or Jehovah Witnesses or Oneness Pentecostals.
All right. Anybody else on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Corin Chandler caught what I was catching, saying denominations is the offending word in question here. So I would agree with that. I know we got my man Benjamin here. He says what he's describing in regards to the Pope is called the perfect act of contrition. And he's saying it's been around a while. So he wants to add some balance there. And I appreciate the question, though. But if you guys are ready, I have the next question already, because I'm starting to actually get a lot of questions for you guys. So next one, Push says, what are you guys' views on the Sabbath? If you have a quick version, do a quick version. If you ain't got nothing to say, just let be the next question. Anybody want to comment? Views on the Sabbath? They want to know everything you guys think.
So I'm not the best to answer, but I'll just say, Jesus did miracles on the Sabbath, and I think he quotes the passage in the Old Testament where if your cow falls in the ditch, are you not going to help it out? So I think if work is necessary and you have to, I think it's fine on Sabbath day, but I think it is a day set for rest. And I think it's one of the only 10 commandments that aren't brought into the new covenant, but I'm not the best in covenant theology, so I could easily be wrong with that, and that's my view.
And I'm just going to add that sorry, Stillman. I'll just add that that's a very vague question. It's not like asking what our view is.
It is.
Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, Paul clearly said, don't let anyone tell you have to worship on a particular Sabbath. What JMD is talking about there with Jesus, he's making it clear that it's about the heart, not about, just honoring a tradition to look good to people. But, the Jews are definitely onto something, it is good to kind of practice discipline, or maybe you put all the social media, put your phone away for a day, absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. So that's cool.
No doubt. I appreciate those answers. All right. Oh boy. Somebody wants to know the difference between epistemology and apologetics.
Apologetics is mostly just a methodology, but some epistemologies like presuppositionalism would argue a type of foundationalism almost, where the laws of logic have to be grounded in God, and some try and ground that in biblical truth, and some try and ground that in just classical theism. So epistemology is basically how do we know what we know, and I would say that some apologetics methodologies would take more probabilistic accounts of knowledge, saying absolute certainty isn't required for certainty or knowledge itself, but rather justified true belief, meaning having a probabilistic warrant for your belief to be true. I know I'm saying a lot of terms here, but some apologetics would utilize that methodology, and then some, like rational presuppositionalism, would try and make a one-step approach to the Bible, and almost like an axiom from mathematics. Because 2 + 2 = 4. That's just proven. Math is about proof, and science and history and so on is induction, which is just coming to the best inference where the evidence points to.
No, I think
So-
that's good. And what that tells people, John, is they need to subscribe to your channel to get more information and answers like that. That's perfect. And certainly certain views of epistemology do play into apologetic methodology, but at the same time, the brother, I've seen you around, Ilunkas, I'm sorry I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I think that was a good answer to intro it, because I want to get to more of these. So Micah says, what do you guys think the bigger apologetic threat in America is? Atheism or wrong theology from proclaimed Christians? So is got an internal or external? Someone comment on that.
Well,
I
I
def-
think. Oh, good, Tim. I answered a little on the
Go ahead,
last.
Tim. Go ahead, Tim.
No, I definitely say internal.
Speak
And-
on it, bro.
And well, because that's kind of been a personal experience of mine, and I love to talk about this, but since I don't know the wide range of your audience, but I will say that the very literalistic, hyper literalistic crowd who approaches the scriptures in that way definitely set up more barriers for myself in my growth in my faith than actually allowed it to flourish. So, and I grew up in a church teaching those types of things ever since I could remember, and things of that sort. So just from my own experience, certain ways people approach the text, certain interpretations of scripture, certain things that are put side by side salvation when they shouldn't be, definitely can be roadblocks to many people and give them a false image of what Christianity actually is. And people who apostatize will have apostatized for reasons that they could have completely avoided if they would have not been led astray by certain individuals. So
Yeah, we got to parse out the open-handed and the closed-handed issues. Salem wants to know, what are your guys' views on eschatology? We're getting all the easy questions here.
Preterist.
Who's a preterist?
Could you repeat the?
What's your eschatological views? All right, David Powman, talk about what kind of preterist are you? What level are you at? Who are some of the people you like? Because I think that's an interesting answer. That means you probably thought about it. I'd love to hear this.
All right, so I'm not really well versed in eschatology. I'm an Orthodox preterist. Basically, this is kind of the view that Kenneth Gentry takes. R.C. Sproul takes this view. Gary DeMar, those are kind of the guys I read after. It's basically the view that basically all the stuff that the Bible describes as being end times happened in AD 70, and so it describes these events that, you know, people typically take in this sort of end time scenario that you see in crappy movies like Left Behind that describe like this yet coming apocalypse. My view would be more this is apocalyptic language that is descriptive of the Jewish-Roman War, and for the most part that's fulfilled, although I still would hold that there is a future coming of Christ and a future bodily resurrection of the saints.
Now, that's fascinating because, as you know, you're clearly, interested in sort of defending in our kind of a classic Arminian understanding of the gospel, it sounds like. But obviously, the people you're reading on eschatology are Reformed folks, and so that's very interesting. I find that fascinating. That's interesting that you've done some of that. I am definitely some version of a partial preterist, being historic primo myself. So that's interesting. Anybody else care to share? Because I'm
a pre-trib dispensationalist.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm an idealist when it comes to all the symmetry and using the Greco-Roman context to understand the general messages in it, and then obviously there's future events, and I think there are some past events John has already mentioned, with the martyrdom of the church and so on from Nero. So I think a lot of it is describing main themes in symbolism and so on. That's the view I developed for my Revelation class.
Excellent. All right. True Counterphobia says, where can he learn more theology about Arminianism, because he tends to be more of a Molinist? Now, those things aren't mutually exclusive there, Counterphobia, but David, you may be able to help him. But I think earlier he was asking about a systematic theology book from an Arminian perspective. So I don't know, maybe give True Counterphobia some resources if you sort of understand the question. I'm basically trying to learn more about that, it sounds like, and maybe how it connects to Molinism. Again, these aren't my positions, but I'm all about people learning, so I'm not opposed to any of this. You know what I'm saying? What do you have, David? And maybe if anybody else wants to share.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with Molinism. It's just it's not soteriology. So soteriologically, you're gonna end up, if you're Protestant, broadly Calvinist or broadly Arminian. And so, yeah, unfortunately, Arminians have not been as big on systematic theology as Calvinists, and I think that's unfortunate. There are some Arminian systematic theologies you could check out. F. Leroy Furline's The Quest for Truth. I think Thomas Oden's systematic theology is broadly Arminian.
I think Geisler's is. I mean, I know he's passed now. He had the 3-volume set.
Yeah, Geisler, I don't really recommend him in theology and exegesis, though. For Chosen but Free is a very confusing book. Yeah, look up if you just like want basic Arminian resources. Check the Society of Evangelical Arminians, their website. You know,
Okay.
Brian Abasciano has published a lot of work there. He's an excellent theologian and exegete. So yeah, I would really recommend that.
I appreciate that, David. Thank you. All right, this is so. I'm not the only troublemaker here. Salem wants to know from you guys, and I think I want everyone to answer this question, if you want to. But who is your most favorite and least favorite YouTube atheist? I'm very curious. Salem, I'm glad you're a troublemaker. Let me hear what you guys got to say.
My favorite is Cosmic Skeptic because he's young and does care about truth, and he's changed a lot of his views from new atheists, so I think he's a lot more open.
Okay.
Least favorite, most who just repeat the same stuff and aren't original. A big dude, he doesn't really do much atheism anymore, but literally his name is Mr. Atheist, and he's literally just copied like not TJ Kurt. Who's the dude? Oh, the Amazing Atheist and Jacqueline Glenn. He's literally just copied all their arguments in 2018 and 2019. It's just so unoriginal. So I've thought about that while let other people give their opinions.
Yeah, I totally want to hear this. I'm very interested in this answer. Let's go around the horn on this one.
Okay, so for my favorite, I would say it is maybe a tie between real atheology or the Cosmic Skeptic. And for my least favorite, I would there's a
if you guys only want to do favorite, I'll totally let you get away with that, by the way. I'm
yeah.
not trying to make anybody, you know what I'm saying, do
Well,
something
the least favorites are probably just the same.
Yeah, it's just people that have
Well, does anyone know who Thunderfoot is anymore?
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. Who cares about that guy?
Thunderfoot.
Oh, okay. First thing
Well, he mostly deals with creationist stuff. He mostly deals with the creationist
See,
stuff.
that's
not what I
think. That's the
because
thing.
I'm not much of a.
Honestly, it's a lot of it's the people like John was talking about, recycled arguments and things, and very simplistic, can be addressed at the surface level, but people who believe that they have refuted Christianity entirely simply because they disagree with creationism. So
shout out to Mr. Phil Fox real quick. Says blessings to these bright and upcoming ministries. Thank you for hosting these young bucks as they enter into this realm. May they keep their eyes fixed upon their Savior. Godspeed, my brothers in Christ Jesus. Thank you, Mr. Phil Fox. And you're a very encouraging brother, and thank you for that word of encouragement. All right, keep it going. I want to hear these answers. Like I said, if you don't want to do least favorite, that's okay. But at least I still want to hear your answers if you got them. Go ahead.
I guess Cosmic Skeptic's going to get a lot of love. I can listen to Cosmic Skeptic and not want to blow my brains out. Who I like listening to the most.
I love your bar, by the way. You know, I can listen to him and not want to blow my brains out.
Well, who I actually enjoy listening to is Michael Shermer a lot.
Okay.
Least favorite, I'm working on a response to rationality rules. Listen, I don't like to ascribe motive. I don't like to say someone's deliberately being dishonest, where I can just say they probably don't know better, they're being ignorant. But this one video I'm doing, he deliberately is misquoting Craig. And so when you're coming at it with that kind of attitude, like, no, like I'll say least favorite for now because he's the one I'm focusing on.
Isaiah Braxton in the live chat says least favorite is Cult of Dusty and favorite is Genetically Modified Skeptic.
Yeah, I was going to say genetically modified, or what I was going to do is point out like good qualities of certain YouTubers. So genetically modified, he's very into having respectful dialogue and emphasizing that. And like recently, I kind of wondered, he was brought up in a Christian background, let's say, and I wonder if part of that is why he's differentiated from other YouTube atheists in that sense, because, you know, as Christian apologists, we're called to that respectful dialogue. So yeah, I just wonder how much that background plays into it. Anyway, also rationality rules in terms of quality. I do like some of the creative aspects that the name rationality rules, and he has these rule cards talking about logical fallacies. Just that aspect of it, I think, is pretty cool. Now, as far as the content, I don't think I've dug in a lot, so I can't speak a lot.
He gets a lot of the logical fallacies wrong, since I actually use a logic textbook written by Patrick Hurley, who's like a logician for life. So
yeah, so
Sounds
so
like
I'm
a
just
great
talking about the
name for a
concept
gang.
of it.
Logician for life, homie. All right, but no, go ahead.
So yeah, just the concept, not the content I'm speaking to necessarily.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as from a creative standpoint, I loved like his little logical things. He even talked about making a card game of it. I'm like, that's a great idea, except he always gets them wrong and commits them himself in the same video.
So my favorite YouTube atheist would probably be the Apostate Prophet, just because, obviously he didn't go for Christianity, but because he's, really after Islam, and I think that's a good thing, because I think there are definitely a lot of things that need to be called out about Islam. And then probably my least favorite, shoot, I think I lost it. I think I just had it and I lost it. Let's see if I can, because I swear, okay, Pine Creek, because I've looked at his responses, some of his responses, especially to IP, and then to one was to like Gary Habermas, and I can really point out the flaws in his video, how he intentionally will misrepresent IP, or there was this one video where he misrepresented Gary Habermas and tried to display him as dishonest, and I think that's just not cool, because I could point out the flaws in what he did there.
I agree, Dylan. The atheists, especially, who really tire me is every apologist is a liar and everyone's dishonest. It's like,
yeah,
especially when I'm not
I
saying
mean, we're all just oily salesmen anyway. So
yeah, just that whole, it's so
yeah, pretty
like,
much. We're all just car salesmen, man.
I'm certainly only in it for the money.
If I were to pick a favorite,
I'm your only supporter, but
it's especially Gary Habermas, man. I'm not saying he's on my cell phone or nothing, but he's a cool guy. It's like, now let's say we're just hanging out and
I know, right? I love that.
And after a couple of pieces of pizza, we say, I got Tony minimal flu. Facts here. And a lot of atheists will say, yeah. Anyways.
I know, I love that.
Yeah, I think probably Jordan Karim would be my favorite atheist. He's not as well known because I don't think he has like his own channel, but he's been on like Modern Day Debate a few times. He actually has like taken the time to look at theistic arguments and has quality responses to them. Not that I think they're unanswerable, but I respect that. He has taken the time to do that and like actually taken them seriously. Least favorite has to be Godless Engineer. I think hands down, Godless Engineer is the worst.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, me too.
That Jesus mythicist, man, I hate that. I hate it so much.
Well, I think those are good answers, guys. I'm looking at the time of our conversation, and it's drawing to an end. Now, I think we need to kind of circle around. I'll try my best to describe it, and I want you guys to give a final shout out for your social media presence and how people can find you and track you down. And maybe even like, if they don't understand by now, kind of say what you do on your channel. Let's kind of wrap it up like that. So my goal, everybody, with this program today was to introduce whatever amount of people that I can to something that I see as a good thing that I thought was cool. And the minute I saw it, with some good guys, some I've known for a little bit, some I'm still getting to know, of the Apologetics Youth Empire. And obviously you can tell it's just guys getting together at different places and trying to tackle this. And you got 18 to 29, boom, 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 right there. You guys have kind of got to know a little bit about them today. I encourage you to check out more of what they do. And I look forward to seeing what the Lord's going to do in all their lives in the future as well. And so, guys, let's hear a little bit about, as we close out, where they're at online, if you haven't already got it by now, and kind of what they do. So let's go around the horn and make sure we get everybody. Let's start with my man Stelman. Final shout out, man. Put us on.
Yeah. I really appreciate you having me on the YouTube channel, The Unapologetic Apologists. That's really the best place to go to subscribe there. I got something with David Wood coming next month, Mike Lacona. And yeah, I just did my video responding to Ben Shapiro's claims on the Messiah. I love Ben Shapiro, by the way. Like on politics, like we're like this, but had to respond to some of the stuff he said about the New Testament because he didn't quite get the history right there. But yeah, I just work on videos, try to incorporate comedy if I can. Me and John working on a lot of stuff together. We're working on a comedy video with some cameos, different people, David Wood, John McCrae, and yeah, hopefully maybe even you, Vocab, if you're interested.
I'm down, bro. Let's do it. Appreciate that, man. All right, my man, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Who are you? Tell them again. What do you do and how do they find you?
Yes, Jeremy Linn. So I lead Twin Cities Apologetics. They are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all that good stuff. But what I'm really pushing out soon is a new YouTube channel. So for that, you can follow me on Twitter, Jeremy Linn, Linn, 2 N's, not the basketball player, 1 N, and then underscore, underdash. And I'll post stuff on Twin Cities Apologetics too when that's coming out. Should be the next month or two. Exciting stuff.
All right, dope. Thank you. All right, my man, Dylan, what about you?
Yeah, so I'm doing a bit of still kind of new, trying to build my subscriber count. Also thinking about changes I want to do to my YouTube channel, such as maybe having a camera pointed at my face, maybe doing some responses, while also having every once in a while maybe post a slideshow, but it's mainly for the should I say just ease of effort rather than having to collect slides and compile them up. Rather I can show myself and be more open, and hopefully soon when I go off to college I can start really building my channel and get more inspiration from guys like you, David Wood, John McRae, inspiring philosophy. That way I can spread the gospel to this younger generation.
Excellent. Thank you, man. JMD.
Yeah, people can find me at JMD Apologetics 101. We've recently just hit over 2,000 subscribers. Stelman helps me with a lot of stuff from there, so definitely go subscribe to his channel, and everyone else is here as well. And my main website is Christian Truth through apologetics.com. All lowercase, mouthful there, but my main premise is, apologetics is going to be the next form of evangelism for people our age, and that's sort of a goal of this group we created. So people can find me on there. Literally, I'm on a lot of platforms, so like Instagram, Twitter, and everything. It's just JMB Apologetics 101.
All right, excellent, man. Thank you. David Powman, my man.
Hey, find me at my YouTube channel, Faith Because of Reason. Beyond that, I'm just on Facebook as David Paulman. You can contact me there if you want to. As far as the channel goes, I just make videos, like video essays, pretty much, just from whatever I happen to be studying at the time. Right now, that would be soteriology.
All right, excellent. Last but not least, Tim, Invoking Theism. How do they find you? What do you do, bro?
Okay, cool. What's up? Oh yeah, no, this is
going around the horn the final time, trying to make sure everybody knows how to find you guys online and kind of what you got going on there.
Cool. Well, yeah, no, this was really fun. But yeah, you can find me at Invoking Theism on my YouTube channel, on Facebook and Twitter. I am most active on Twitter, and that's why I'll be updating constantly, and you can see kind of my thought process and what I'll be doing. My YouTube channel will just be for me to kind of systematically put out things in a organized fashion. And I mostly focus on things in the in philosophy, mainly metaphysics, ontology, as it relates mainly to things like God's existence and the philosophical foundations underpinning Christianity.
Excellent. All right, anybody else feel like they didn't get to say something that they need to say before I hit the end button?
Yeah, Michael Jones takes man's word over God's.
Amen.
Christian truth needs to be spread through apologetics.
Wait, can you say that again? I didn't hear that one. What did you say?
Christian truth needs to be spread through apologetics. That's my phrase.
Oh, that's your phrase? Oh, okay. You got your, okay, all right. That's all right. You got the look. Yeah, I remember we did it. Oh, go ahead. Somebody else, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, I was about to say, me and Stillman need to have a debate about that. If Michael really takes men's word over God's.
That Mike knows we just like to pick on him.
All right. Awesome. All right. So, guys, here's what I'm going to do. Tomorrow, everybody, if you're watching us now, you know, we do our monthly book club. And I always make sure the books are readily available and accessible. And tomorrow we're going over 50 reasons Jesus came to die. So what the Bible says about why Jesus died. We're going to be looking at that. It'll be an hour and a half live stream tomorrow right here on this channel. Now I want to end this, but what I'm going to do is about 5 minutes. I'm going to do a little freestyle session after I do it, because you guys have racked up super chat earnings here. So I'm going to do it on a separate little thing. After I hit the end button on here, I've just created a broadcast page for it. I dropped the link in there. And what I'm going to do is after this little impromptu thing, I'm going to, the little freestyle session, I'm going to make the link unlisted. So that's what's up. So I'm going to close this one, and then we're going to jump over and see you guys in about 10 minutes if you want to hear 2 or 3 off the top, whatever. All right. So with that, I think this is fantastic. Really appreciate you guys' time. I think people really enjoyed this, and I would stay and talk to you more afterwards, but I can't because I get ready for this next thing I'm going to do. So let's meet up another time. Be blessed, y'all. Peace out. Shalom.